Is it going to be weird for people to possibly come across my page and see their license plate and their car in my photo? But then again, it's not like they're in the car. I'm not photographing people and saying, this is Andrew's car. Like. Hey guys, so it's Quiana from the future here to make this video footage make sense for you. So as you've seen from the title, this video is about me shooting my first ever roll of film and using a manual camera for the first time. So the first step was for me to read the manual for my camera, basically the instructions, which I found literally by typing Mamiya NC1000S manual on Google, basically the name of my camera manual on Google. And you should be able to do that for your camera as well. Also, I've been told the manuals used to be in books, but someone has basically uploaded them as PDF documents onto Google, so you should be able to find the manual for your camera too. So my method of learning was basically to read the manual and fiddle with the camera at the same time, so I could basically do and mimic what the manual was telling me to do, which helps me a lot because that allowed me to kind of learn physically without having to actually take any photos and ruin anything. And then I also took a lot of notes in my notebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, wow, it doesn't even feel like this much. 15, about 14 and a half pages of notes. It's not that much really when you think about it. Not all of that was from the manual either. Some of those notes were just me researching cameras in general. I didn't know if it made sense to write everything down, but it was kind of just helping me to write out what the manual was telling me in my own words, in the same way that you might take notes when you're revising or like learning in class. So that's what I did. So that was my learning process while I just watched the Mobos, ate food, and had a good time.
Walk out the door and they scream it's a ride. My New Year's resolution is to stop all the pollution. Talk to motherfucking budget and my friend and my music. Please don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe.
Then it was time to load the film into the camera for the first time. I was really excited but really scared as well. Now that I've got through the manual, it's like, well, the time is here. Like what's going to be your first photo? Like, what if your first photo is a blank or it's just completely black? I jinxed myself. Oh god, I've fucking forgotten. My mind is going blank. My mind has gone blank. I know how to do this. I've done it. I've loaded it. Okay. Oh my gosh, I did it. I just took my first photo. That is mad. Oh, but it's still an S though. So does that mean the photo didn't count? Oh. So I ventured out, I took loads of photos, and then came the day where I got my first ever images back. Hey guys, I'm tired. I literally just opened my eyes. So a quick rundown. Today is the 4th of January. I was desperate to get these rolls back so that I could see, you know, what have I been taking this whole time. I took a week taking shots in the first roll. It has 36 shots on it, and I pretty much just kind of would take them spontaneously, just allowing myself to kind of have fun with it. If I'm walking down the street and I see something, I'm like, oh, pow. Is there something in my tooth? I hope not. I've literally just opened my eyes. We're good. For a bit of context, this is chaotic because it's 6:42 p.m. Why have I just woken up? Because I woke up at about 3 a.m, maybe before that, and I just kept waking up in the night, or the morning, whatever you like to call it. I kept waking up at single-digit AMs and thinking it was time to get up. Like, I'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and think it was like 8 a.m. and I'm like, oh, okay, I can get up now. Like, yes, I did it, got up early, love that for me. No, the sun hasn't risen, the birds have not started chirping, everyone in the house is asleep. Go back to bed. I didn't feel like I was being disturbed, like I kept waking up in the night, and it's like, oh, it felt like, oh, like I'm ready to get up. And then I look at my phone and it's only been 15 minutes, it's now 3:15. So that kept happening. I just thought to myself, you know what, why am I forcing myself to go back to sleep? So I just got up. I just got up at like 3:40 a.m. I got up, brushed my teeth, I washed my face, I went and found breakfast. What was my breakfast? I had sausage rolls. I had vegan sausage rolls, corn sausage rolls, with some plant-based coleslaw, some plant-based potato salad, and a bit of ketchup on the side. I had that with a coffee at 4 a.m. So I'm talking about a whole lot of things. Let me get to the point. It got to the end of December and I was thinking, okay, it's come up to Christmas and New Year's period. Our bank holidays, like our Christmas bank holiday, our Boxing Day bank holiday in the UK, in England, then falls on, you know, the next available day, which meant that we only had like a few days in between Christmas and New Year's where shops would be open, and I would like to get these images back so that I know what they look like and I know what the settings I've been doing have caused before I start on a new role. So in my head it's like, damn, like if I don't finish these roles now and get them to the shop to get scanned and developed, I'm gonna have to wait, and I'm impatient. I wanted to see the photos. So my mom's birthday is on the 3rd. What I planned in my head was, okay, I'll finish the first role by the 2nd, and then on the 3rd I will just spam a whole role for my mom's birthday, and then on the 4th I'll go and get them both scanned and developed. So today's the 4th. I did my plan, however I didn't get to take that many shots because I'm using ISO 400 film, so it's kind of dim here in England. I don't know what I'm saying, in England, like y'all are watching me overseas, but in case you're wondering, right, I'm in London, right? When I wake up it's dark, when I leave the gym it's dark. We're at that stage of winter, so I'm taking photos on my mom's birthday and I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be dark, like the light meter is telling me that this is going to be underexposed, but I'm just taking them anyway because I'm like, okay, I just want to finish this role and I just want to see. I'm kind of testing the limits of it, like, okay, I know the camera's telling me it's going to be dark, but is it going to be that dark? Like, what if it's like a cute gloomy vibe, like, you know? So I'm just taking the photos thinking, okay, I'll just see how it turns out. Then comes today, I got it scanned and developed. I think I'd only taken like 10 shots or something like that. So my plan was on the way to the shop to get the film. Oh my gosh, am I even awake? On the way to the photography shop to get the film scanned and developed, I need to finish this role. If I saw anything like, oh, that building looks kind of nice, oh, that matches your outfit, and just kind of testing out what the light was like outside as well, playing with different apertures, playing with different shutter speeds, all that type of thing. I got the 2 rolls of 400 scanned developed in the shop that I went to. They ask you if you want it on the same day, the next day, or whenever. So I said same day because I'm like, bro, I just want these back now. And then they ask you if you want it normal or high quality. My spirit wanted me to say high quality because I'm like, why would I not go for high quality? But I've been advised that it's not much difference, and I was thinking, to be fair, it's my first role. They could all be blanks. Why am I going to pay extra? Because I think it costs extra for you to do high quality. I really wanted to buy an ISO 800 film because it's so dark in London anyway, but they didn't have any. All they had was 400, so I just got that because I didn't want to have an empty camera. I got Portra 400. All together that came up to £30.48, and I was told that Portra is more expensive, so that's probably why. But yeah, I'm sitting in front of this camera right now because I have just received the email with my photos. So I thought, let me just turn on the camera and do a live reaction, and I'm really hoping that they came out right. The first roll that I did, I realized I kept accidentally, let me get the camera so I can show you what I kept doing. Okay, when I shot my first roll, I kept accidentally while picking up the camera, twisting this, it would be around my neck like this, and I'd be like, oh okay, like I'm ready to take a photo, and then this would spin on my thumb. Obviously this is what winds the film, so I'm like accidentally winding the film a certain way, and it's like it happens so fast, I can never tell what way I've done it. A couple of times I would do that, I'd feel it roll, and then when I pulled this round, this wouldn't move, which means it's not loaded properly. It means that you're winding the film, but if this isn't moving, the canister is not moving inside. So in other words, I'm here thinking I'm advancing the film, but it hasn't moved, which means I'm now going to end up having to take a photo on top of the photo I've already taken. That happened a couple times. So I am predicting, predictions, let's do predictions. I am predicting that I'm going to have a few double exposed photos where I had fucked it up and it wouldn't wind. I eventually realised that I was winding the film back into itself, basically tightening it, and then it wouldn't move. So I would just unwind it a little bit and then it would be fine and it would move around. But it took me a while to figure that out, and also you don't know that it's not going to move until you do that and see it not move, and by that point you've already wound it and you now have to take the shot. So I feel like I'm gonna have a couple double exposed, I'm gonna have a few dark ones. I don't think I'll have any overexposed ones because there's not been that much light for me to even get that. And also my first couple shots, because I wound it properly from literally the start of the roll, it was still on the S. It didn't get to the 1 for a couple shots, so I don't know if they will count in what they've scanned and developed. I don't know how it works, but my first few photos might not exist. But I think I'll have some good ones in there. I'm chatting a lot, I've been waiting for this moment and now I'm here procrastinating. Right, let me look at these photos. So they ask you for your email address when you go to the photography shop so that they can email them via a WeTransfer link. Be aware, if you haven't used WeTransfer before, do not let this email sit in your inbox because WeTransfer links expire, so mine expires on the 11th of January. Do not make the mistake of not opening your file because it will disappear and you will not be able to access it after a while, which means you would lose your photos. Okay, there's 75 items. I had 2 rolls of 36. So I should have had 62, right? Oh my gosh, I just saw so much. Hold on. It's 72. Ew, yeah, I think that was wrong. So I should have 72 shots, but I've got 75. It must have worked. I must have ended up kind of cheating the system and getting extra shots out of it. So that is sick that I was able to do that on my first ever roll. I was able to cheat the shots and get extra ones. Maybe it was made for me. Maybe I was born with it. Oh my goodness. The first one is of my dog. Wow. Okay, so they're quite like yellowy green and they've kind of got like a haze. The first few photos that I took kind of have like a haze. Isn't that adorable? This is what I'm talking about. There's like a kind of streak here. I do not know about film and this is my first ever photo that I've taken on this camera, but I'm assuming that's because I took it so early in the roll maybe, so maybe that's like something to do with the roll, or because I took it with a ring light, maybe the light was so close that it kind of made a streaky thing. I don't know. His little eyes. He's like, bro, why are you pointing this fucking piece of metal at me? Can you sit down? Look at his little toy, just chilling, bro. Oh my. This is so cool. Okay, so the one with the records I really like. However, it's overexposed and I can tell because I remember trying to get in the 3 lines of the walls and it takes you a while to be able to figure out that there's a 3rd line there because the wall is white and it's so bright, but it looks so nice and like grainy and hazy. Oh my god. Okay, this is incredibly out of focus. What is this? I took a picture of my food. Oh, you know what, this is so sad because I remember it took me so long to take the photo and my eye was hurting and I was trying to focus it on the broccoli and I couldn't tell if it was focused or not because broccoli is not a line. Broccoli is so randomly shaped that I couldn't tell if it was focused or not. Okay, it wasn't focused. It wasn't focused. Okay, so this one I took knowing it would be dark. The camera was telling me that it's going to be too dark, it's going to be underexposed. But I'm now realizing that underexposure does not mean darkness. I think I'm using those terms interchangeably and they're not interchangeable. Looking at this photo, it's not dark, it's just very faded. It's not detailed, it's not pronounced. The colours aren't clear or vivid. It's very like greenish. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is adorable. The photos of Bailey are so nice. Okay, this is kind of wonky, but all I have to do is skip it. That isn't, wow, look at the detail. Can you imagine if I got this back high quality? All the details in the building with it on point. And the sky looks so nice with the grain. Oh my god. Film really does just add like this mood to a photo. It kind of adds like a story. Even it kind of adds movement to a point as well. Wow, I had a feeling I would like this. Wow, okay, grass looks good. Grass and wood look good for this film. Okay, the colours look so good. And the puddle. Sorry, but this is like what, the 5th shot I took on the camera, and it looks like this. I captured a puddle. I captured reflection in a puddle. I'm all the way in, mate. I'm all the way in. The only thing is, okay, there are some shots that I stood there for ages lining up the lines and making sure it was straight, but this photo is not straight. It's not even. So either I took it on a low shutter speed and then moved, but then I'm sure that would have blurred it. Maybe I moved when I was taking it. And I did realise that when I was taking my first few shots, it's like, you know when you... I don't like guns at all, I don't even like... Ugh. But you know when you see someone learning to use a gun like in a film, and they're always told, make sure you prepare yourself for the kickback, because when you press it, it's gonna do that, right? I felt like that was happening with the camera. Like I would press it and kind of jolt, like as I'm pressing it, like I would do that, and I'm like, oh, am I gonna blur the photos? But I couldn't tell if I was jolting before or during the press, but maybe I was doing it during, because this photo is not straight. But it doesn't matter at all. Or I'll be interested to see how much of these Instagram cuts out in the ratio. I need to keep that in mind when I'm taking photos. Bro, look at my Indian food. What? Oh, I could really eat that right now. Oof. Oof. I just deleted Uber Eats on my phone today, but I can still Google Just Eat, please. Okay, this is incredibly underexposed, and I knew it was. You know what? I'm actually proud because I learned about the camera before I started using it. So when I was taking photos, I was taking them knowing, okay, this is going to be underexposed, but let me just take it to see what that really means visually and how underexposed it will be. I'm proud to know that, like, there's certain photos here where I'm like, oh, okay, it's underexposed, but I already knew that. Like, there's no disappointment because I already knew what the camera was doing. I already understood that it would be underexposed when I took it, so there's no disappointment of like, oh, I thought that would work. There's no confusion of, oh, like, why didn't that work? Like, I knew it would work, like, you know. Oh, that's cool. The underexposed photos right now are kind of interesting me because they're teaching me what the colouring of the film is. Because it's underexposed, it's kind of just like a greenish, bluish, yellowish blur, but that in my head is telling me that that's what the camera film colouring is like. Oh, look at my quads. I like this one. These are my new shoes. These are shoes I was meant to wear today, and then it started chucking it down with rain, and I said no, because they have no pattern, no grip, no lines, no nothing on the bottom. So I would have been slipping and sliding. God forbid I stepped on a drain while wearing those. Would have been the end of me and the camera. Oh, I thought I'd be giving quad central, but my legs are blurred out. Okay, looking at these photos, I have figured out that I need to learn more, or I need to acknowledge more about depth of field. I think that's what the right term is. I was basically just focusing on lighting, but I need to focus on camera. That was God and the universe telling me that joke was shit. Calm yourself down. So I've taken photos of my legs thinking, oh, like my shoes look good, my legs look good, but actually my legs are blurred out so you can't even see my legs. But if I had taken that on a different aperture, I could have made sure that my legs and the entire photo were in focus. I would have taken these on a large aperture because I was inside and it was dark. So that's why the things around the outside are blurred. Look at my boots, girl. Okay, yeah, I took ages trying to line this up. There's certain photos that I know I've taken that I wanted them to be lined up, but they weren't, because obviously with the camera all I can do is focus. I, as far as I know, cannot control the zoom of it. Yeah, the focus ring zooms in and zooms out, but it will only focus at the right level of zoom. So I could be taking I could take a photo of the vlog camera and want it to be close up and only the camera be in the shot, but if I'm on a certain aperture, it's only going to focus at a certain point, so it might only focus zoomed out, if that makes sense. I can zoom it in, but it's going to be out of focus, everything's going to be blurry. So that's what I was kind of not struggling with, that's what I was kind of like finding a bit of like, oh damn with, because it's like I might want to take a photo of a building, but because I can't zoom in or out, all I can do is get as close or as far away from the building as possible in order to get everything that I want in the shot. But then that would mean certain lines might not add up because maybe I can't get far away enough for the lines to make sense. I'm gonna enjoy taking photos in summer because it's going to be so bright that I can use a small aperture, aka Sony 16, and everything will be in focus. And I think there'll be more room for me to play around if I don't want everything in focus and I want to take a photo of a certain person and have everyone else be blurred in the background. I have the range to be able to do that by increasing the aperture but then just closing down the shutter speed. I mean, increasing the shutter speed to make it darker, basically, to compromise for the fact that I'm using a large aperture. But right now it's like all I can really do is what the camera's telling me to do because it's dark. Oh my gosh, this came out. I thought this would be too dark. I'm pretty sure I took this photo of my baby picture, my school picture, and my little graduation. It was my results day of sixth form. I took the photo of those using the flash on my phone and the camera. It is still underexposed, but I kind of like it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I figured out that with this film, I like greens, deep reds, browns. I love those colours. Even with black. Ooh. All like the rich colours look so good on this film. Navy blue would probably look good as well. That looks so nice. And I like taking photos when the light is like there's a lampshade that's shining in. Ooh, my burnt cream's boxed. I set on fire in my microwave. Ugh. Never again. I learned my lesson. Chaos continues. My battery died, so I went and made food. If I end up with a piece of black pepper in my front tooth, don't judge me. I'm eating my food, okay? I made salmon and noodles and stir-fried vegetables. And it's all seasoned up. I don't do presentation. It tastes good. That's good enough for me. So don't judge my plate. But yes, I kept trying to take photos and I could see people are starting to approach the frame and I'm like, oh fuck's sake, get out of my frame, bro. But part of that is because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. So I don't want to be taking a photo and then someone's walking past me thinking, oh, let me quickly get past before she takes the photo, and then they hit ka-ching, and they know they're in the frame, because I don't want no confrontation and I just don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. Oh wow, oh my gosh. Okay, this is one of those photos where it's not technically amazing, it's not something I'm gonna smack on a portfolio, but it just is a mood. Like it's very just, it presents the scenery so well. Like the mashed off telephone box got no door on it, completely graffitied on the inside, and then we've got some done up furniture shop in the background with crystal lamps and chandeliers and shit, like, and then the grubby floor and it's all dark and dingy, but then at the top we've got the lights from the store. Like, wow. And I'm proud because I managed to capture the lighting inside the shop and there's no glare on the windows as far as I can see. You can see straight into the windows of the shop, but you can also see the telephone box, so it's like the light behind it didn't backlight so much that the telephone box is completely dark and black, like you can see everything. So I'm super proud of that. Wow! Oh my gosh, this looks so good. No, I'm gonna enjoy shooting at night. I can just tell. Oh my gosh, if I start learning to drive and I get a car, I can do night drives and night photography. I can just go out, listen to music, go out for a drive. I see something cool, roll down the window, put out. And just be in my own world, just driving around London, just taking photos. Wow, I can even pick up a friend, like, you awake? Cool, let's go get some food. But while we're on the way to go get food, we're just taking photos. Ugh. Look at this. This is why I wanted the 800 film, but it came out totally fine. And if I'm not mistaken, what I did was either compromise and take a photo when it told me it was going to be underexposed, or I risked it and put the shutter speed all the way down to like 30 or even 15 in order to balance out the fact that it was dark. But that looks so good. Look at the sorry, hold on. I know I'm gonna insert the photo, but I'm so excited. I have to get up and show you. Hold on. Cause you better focus. You better focus. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the light bouncing off of the car. Like look at the colours on that. And everything is in focus. Ah, this looks so good. One thing I've been thinking about, is it going to be weird for people to possibly come across my page and see their license plate and their car in my photo? But then again, it's not like they're in the car. I'm not photographing people and saying, this is Andrew's car. Like I don't know whose car that is. It's just in the shop, you know? That looks nice. There is a bit of a haze there though. Oh, that would have been a perfect photo. That would have been something they're able to use on their damn Instagram page for promotion. I don't think my style is the typical kind of like, when you think of film, you think of that kind of like faded, greenish, kind of hazy, grainy photo. I don't think that's my look. I at the moment anyway, because I change all the time, but I feel like my style and the film that I'm really interested in is film photography where the colours are still rich, but you can still tell that it's film, like it's got a bit of grain to it. It's a tiny bit faded, but there's burgundies and there's navy blues and there's emerald greens and there's browns, because I feel like that makes more sense. Like, I'm black, I want to photograph black people, I want to highlight black people on my page, so it doesn't make sense for me to be using these faded, yellowy, greeny, like typical film looks. And I've read something about that, something popped up on my Pinterest or something like that, about how film photography was actually kind of made highlighting white people, which, you know, what wasn't. And so apparently according to this article, apparently film wasn't really made to work with black people, so it fades us out, it washes us out, it kind of like, it just wasn't made with us in mind. So when you take photos of black people sometimes with certain film, it fades us out, it washes us out, it makes us look kind of grey. Your makeup sometimes looks kind of flashbacky, but actually if you took a photo on your phone, you don't have flashback. Like, that's something that I've picked up on, so I really want to learn how to highlight black people. Why would I not? Like, I want to learn how to take photos of black people with film and make it work. And I don't think that'll be hard. I just don't think people try, you know? I just don't think people really try to make stuff work for us, but I absolutely will be trying. Look at the it looks like a megaphone the way the posters are like coming out. Anyways, that is pretty. That's given album cover. If someone was standing in front of that house, leaned up against the wall, that would have been like album cover worthy. It's a bit skewed, like it's a bit wonky, but that's really pretty. That's really pretty. Okay, this film definitely looks better like for sunny days, although that picture that I took of the car was at night time and it looks great. Okay, so this is the new roll. Some of these I won't be putting in the video because they are from my mom's birthday, so she's just casual, she's living her life, opening her presents. This is mad to think I've got like baby pictures and stuff, and my mom's got old photos that were taken on film, and now this is like the modern version. Like, I've grown up and I've now started taking pictures of my mom with film. Like, that is mad to me. Aww, these like very like in the moment photos. Wow, look at this. This is good. I think I would crop that. The bottom of the car is annoying me. It's like, why is that line there? But I had to do that because I couldn't walk any further backwards to get the whole bottom of the car in, and then I think there was like a sign at the top, so I didn't want to get that in anymore. That is cool. The colour of the blue stands out so well. Oh, this is the coffee shop. Yeah, so these are the photos that I took today on the way to the film shop, just like around London. I waited in Costa for my friend, and there was a girl sitting in front of me drinking coffee, and eventually she got up but she hadn't finished her coffee, so I just took a photo of that sitting there. Thought the colours of the chairs were kind of cute, and again you got like the burgundies and the browns, which I really like. I'm quite impressed and quite proud. I didn't doubt myself. I had a feeling I knew what I was doing, but I'm quite impressed and quite proud with how the lighting in the photos have come out. There's barely any that are like extremely overexposed or extremely underexposed, and if they are, it's because I already knew, oh, it's too dark, but there's nothing I can do about that. Let me just try and take photos, see what it looks like. There's only one photo where I'm like, what happened there? But other than that, there's no confusion, so I don't have to like figure out what went wrong type of thing. It's just a case of improving. Sometimes when I'm focusing the camera, I'm not used to my eye being all squinted like this when I'm trying to look through the viewfinder, so my eye starts to like cramp up and hurt. And so I'm just like, bro, let me just take the photo. So I'm gonna have to get used to that. That's nice, the lights in the puddle, and that's in focus. I do like the look of the lights of buses and cars and shop signs, like the way they kind of bounce at the camera and reflect on puddles and stuff. Like, it just looks really nice, which probably won't happen in the summer, not in the daytime, because it's going to be so bright that there's not really going to be that darkness for the lights to be bouncing off of and lighting up. So that's going to be interesting. My lips are so dry right now. Let's fix that. I've read and heard that it's better to overexpose your photos than underexpose them, because if you underexpose them, they're dim, they're faded, you can't get the detail back. However, you can overexpose a photo and then just edit it to be darker, like just add the contrast back in, because at least if you overexpose a photo, you've got the detail, it's just a bit bright. If you underexpose it, the detail's not there, so you can't really brighten it up, it's just gonna look like a blur. Oh, this one worked out. Okay, so I'm looking at the photo of the white goat, and I purposely challenged myself to take a photo of it because it's a white goat against a winter sky, and the sky basically looks white. So I was thinking, is the goat just gonna fade away and look like it doesn't exist? But actually I managed to get definition on the goat, even though it's pretty much the same colour as the sky. There's udders. Oh yeah, you do have goat's milk. I've never thought of the sight of a goat with udders. Like, for me, udders are like, that's a cow, bro. Gold also looks nice on film. Ooh, you know what? I'm glad that I figured out what colours I like in film, because that means if I want to actually set up a shoot like in a studio or something, I know what backdrop colour I want, I know what outfit colours I want. This is cool. These statues are creepy as fuck, but it looks cool. This is really nice, this artwork with the girl with the curly hair. Oh, there's Pink Panther, I didn't even got that. Because it's kind of got like a goldish tone to the artwork, which works well with the film. I'm lucky that the sky, I didn't get too much sky in it, so it didn't backlight too much. These last few shots I was really just trying to get rid of the film. I took a photo of the motorbike purposely to see if it would show the motion, and it did. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, and then I had one shot left, so I just took a photo of my feet, which looks pretty cool. The ground, like the wet ground. Oh my god. It's interesting because I actually think my first roll, the photos are better. I'm putting these on a hard drive straight away. I'm not playing any games, I don't know when to lose them. I think my favourite one, off the top of my head, is the photo that I took of the cars with the light bouncing off it. Ugh, that looks so good to me. It just looks cool. And it's what I wanted it to look like, so that's exciting. I like the photo of Bailey just because it kind of shows the vibe. Like that's a photo that I can look back on in years to come when I've like moved out and be like, oh, like that's where I love my dog and that's where I used to live, type of thing.
You don't need no other
Oh, in case I was meant to say bye in this clip, thank you for watching. Stay positive, stay great, stay confident, stay kind, stay cool. Period. I will see you in the next video. Bye.